Hello Disney Infinity trainers, welcome back to the Disney Infinity Games. Here's your host, Mickey Mouse. Alright, so for those of you who have been watching the Infinity Games series, you may have seen that it recently came to its round 1 conclusion. So that means that round 2 will be starting up very soon. And for those of you who don't know what this series is, this is an awesome Hunger Games inspired series where we play in a toy box. 2 Disney Infinity characters are in an arena and they're fighting to the death, and the winner of that match will move on to the next round, and then we eventually will have a series of winners who will move on to the next round together, and then they'll fight in that round, and the winners of those matches will move on to the next round, and so on until we have one final Disney Infinity Games champion. So currently we have a few characters who have made it, right? Alright, so this video, the purpose of this video is just going to be to recap and to honor those who have won their matches in the series. So let's go ahead and take a look here. So our first matchup, we had Iron Fist as the winner. So Iron Fist will be moving on to round 2. He defeated Mr. Incredible in a not so close matchup. He kind of beat Mr. Incredible up very easily. So wasn't a very difficult match for Iron Fist. We'll see if he'll have more of a challenge in round 2. Next, we have Captain Jack Sparrow, who actually defeated Thor in his matchup. And while that looks like it could have been a good matchup if you watch the video, it was a pretty good fight until the very end when Thor actually ended up falling to his death. And as you know, in the Infinity Games, characters are not allowed to fly, because it kind of gives the flying characters an advantage over the ones who can't fly. So just to kind of even the playing field, none of the characters are allowed to fly. So because Thor accidentally fell off the mountain, he wasn't able to fly back up and recover, so he ended up losing. And speaking of flying, okay, next we have Star-Lord. Star-Lord won against Donald Duck, and this was another pretty interesting match. I think what did it for Star-Lord in the end was the fact that he has really awesome blasters that can shoot very consistently and very quickly. So we'll see how Star-Lord will end up doing in round 2. Next we have Black Widow. And Black Widow fought against Spider-Man. The 2 spiders ended up fighting, and that was another awesome match. Both of these characters are very agile and have a lot of really awesome moves, and Black Widow ended up coming out on top. She's actually a pretty formidable character, so we'll see what she can do in round 2. Next we have Buzz Lightyear. Now Buzz Lightyear came in as an underdog against Gamora, and if you watch the video, he actually ended up pulling through and defeating her. She's a character that looks like she has a lot of advantages over Buzz because she has more weapons, she has, more skills overall, but Buzz Lightyear actually was able to pull through and emerge victorious. So we'll see who he'll face in round 2. And next we have Groot. Now, if we're speaking about uneventful matches, Groot's is the definition of the uneventful match. Groot fought against Sully, and if you want to watch how long that video ended up being, go ahead and click on the playlist below and find the video. But yeah, it was an interesting match. It definitely got a couple laughs out of me and Dieter. Next we have Iron Man. Iron Man fought against Jack Skellington, and I think this was one of our most interesting matches of round 1, at least as far as close matches go. This one was close until the very end when Iron Man eventually ended up blasting Jack Skellington off of the cliff, and Jack Skellington had no way to recover from there, so GG Jack. Here we have a shadowy figure. No, this is actually Venom. Venom was a little problematic match for me and Dieter because he fought against Maleficent, and both Venom and Maleficent are awesome villains. They're two of the best villains in the Disney and Marvel universes. They're also really powerful characters in this game. And so Dieter and I both, I think, like Venom and Maleficent quite a bit. So it was unfortunate that they had to fight against each other, because it meant that one of them would end up beating the other and end up moving on. The other one would end up being eliminated. So in the end, it ended up being Venom. This match was pretty interesting as well, I think, but as you can see here, you know, Venom was the one to get the upper hand over Maleficent. Maleficent has a lot of really crazy power-ups. She can fly, she can regenerate her health, but again, those are power-ups that end up being a little unfair against characters like Buzz Lightyear and Mickey Mouse, who can't do any of that at all. So, yeah. Oh, and next we have my evil twin. No, we have actually the good Mickey. This one right here that's jumping is actually the evil Mickey, and he actually sent his counterpart flying over there, so that's pretty rude. But Mickey ended up defeating Davy Jones. This was another match, I think, that was pretty good to watch. If you want to go ahead and click on that one, it was very close and a good time overall. Mickey Mouse ended up winning, even though Davy Jones is just overall stronger in terms of brute strength. Mickey has his magic that can clearly upset the opponent, so Mickey moved on. Next we have Stitch, and Stitch fought against the Incredible Hulk. This is a very interesting matchup, given that Stitch is very small and agile, and the Incredible Hulk is just gigantic, right? The thing that Incredible Hulk has going for him, though, other than his sheer power, is also the fact that he can jump very, very high, and you'll see that a lot in the matchup. This was another match that was really kind of back and forth, and when it looked like it was going one way, it ended up throwing a surprise twist in there, and as you can see, Stitch was the one who came out victorious. But it was definitely a very back and forth match, and I recommend you watch that video as well. That was a very good one to watch. Speaking of very good matches, one of the absolute, I think, best matches overall was between two of the best friends you could think of, and that was between Baymax and Hero. And the title alone is an interesting match, right? Baymax versus Hero. They're best friends, but now they're pitted against each other in the arena, and they have to fight to the death. Just that concept alone makes for a good match, but the actual match ended up being very interesting. And again, it was one of those kind of cat and mouse games, back and forth, where one player was hunting the other the next 1 minute, and then the next minute it turned the tables, and the other was kind of going after the first. And Baymax ended up defeating his friend Hero, and I don't think they're talking anymore. They're not friends anymore. I'm just kidding. Maybe they are. It's all for fun and games, but yeah, Baymax was the one who ended up emerging victorious there. Baymax and Hero are also both very powerful characters, so it was a little unfortunate to see one of them have to be eliminated. Or were they? Here we have Rocket Raccoon, who ended up taking out Nova. This is another awesome match, just because, once again, Rocket Raccoon and Nova are both really powerful, and I really enjoy playing as either of them. Rocket Raccoon's blasters are just the best. Either way, Rocket was the one who came out on top, and he'll be moving on to round 2 along with this other cast of characters. And lastly, for the videos we've posted on the round 1 of Disney Infinity Games, we have Aladdin. Aladdin fought against Nick Fury, and if it looks as though Nick Fury could have had the upper hand there, it ended up not being the case, and Aladdin was the one who stole that match. Alright, so that's 13 characters, lucky number 13. However, since we're doing a single elimination tournament here, and a bracket style tournament, 13 characters doesn't quite merge well for eliminating single characters, if that makes sense, for moving on to different rounds. So if we have 26 matches in round 1, that means we have 26 characters entering round 1, that means we have 13 entering round 2, and because that's an odd number and it's not a number that's easily divisible by 4, what Dieter and I decided to do was bring back 3 of these characters as wild cards, and we basically randomly chose which of these 3 characters would be basically given a free pass to round 2. So even though the following characters did lose their match, they will be moving on to round 2 as wild cards, and we'll see if they will end up turning the tables and getting that second chance and maybe even winning their round 2 match. So there are actually 2 wild cards that lost in round 1, and then there's a mystery character at the end who has not participated just yet, but will be participating in round 2, and we're not going to tell you who that is just yet. So our first wild card we have is Donald Duck. As we said, Donald Duck lost to Star-Lord in round 1, but he's given a second chance here. Let's see if he can pick things up in round 2 and move on to round 3 next. Our next wild card is going to be Hero. So Hero was eliminated by his good friend Baymax, and now he gets to come out with revenge. So if Hero and Baymax both win their round 2 matches, maybe they'll be pitted up against each other for the revenge match in round 3. Stay tuned. And finally we have, if I don't fall once again, finally we have our mystery character. Again, this character is someone who has not participated in the Disney Infinity games just yet. However, they've been training very extensively. They've been training under the guidance of another Disney Infinity character, and they've been just training against hordes and hordes of enemies, and I'll tell you, they've been destroying those enemies with ease. So this is definitely a character to be afraid of, and we'll get to see their debut in round 2. So I'm definitely excited about round 2. I don't know what's in store yet, and I hope you're excited as well. I'm going to put the playlist for round 1 in the description so you can check out all of those matches, or check them out again if you've already done so. And round 2 will be up very, very soon, so please stay tuned, and thank you for watching.